Hello, my name is Dr. Rob Knight. I'm a mathematics professor at Evergreen Valley College in San Jose, California. I would like to share with you the development of MyClassText, which is a further iteration of a previous learning management system or class management system called MyMathText. MyClassText is designed to really be adapted by any course or subject matter. MyClassText serves as a vehicle, if you will, for your own content. Today, some of the figures surrounding student debt are really quite incredible. For example, the total amount of student debt is now greater than this number. And what is this number? At first, I thought this was 1,200 million or 1,200 million. But in fact, if you look carefully, this is 1,200 billion, an incredible amount comparable to our national debt. Some figures about college graduates and the amount of money that they owe: almost $30,000 as compared to the average debt of not quite $10,000 in 1993. And ironically, the poorest students owe the most money. 88%, almost 90% of Pell Grant recipients have loans with an average of over $30,000 per borrower. In 2012, typical workers with a BA earned 80% more than a worker with a high school diploma, approximately. And we're going to need 22 million more college-educated workers by 2018. Workers who don't have a college degree are 3 times more likely to be unemployed. The default rates in the last 6 years have risen almost 30%. So why did I create MyMathText? Well, my typical student in Evergreen Valley Community College is a female. She's in her mid to late 20s, has at least a child, maybe 2, is single. The child is in daycare or in school, and it's not uncommon for these students to drop courses simply because they can't afford the required textbook. The traditional cost of textbooks or cost of traditional textbooks are now approximately $150 on average. Some textbooks cost $300 to $400 in very specific courses. Publisher-created learning management systems or course management systems like MyMathLab, MyStatsLab, MyPsychLab have doubled in the last 5 years or so to almost $100. And this does not include a textbook. This is an electronic textbook. And this is the cost per year per course, so that if a student fails a course and then tries to take it a year and a half later, they have to pay another $100 to use the learning management system. I make a lot of my own videos for my courses, and I have a lot of work that I put into those courses. And I know many other professors who also make their own videos and include their own resources. Publisher-created learning management systems like MyMathLab and MyPsychLab, etc., really make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, to include my own materials such as videos, slideshows, notes, or open education resources, OER, in the course that the publisher creates. And I frankly kind of resent this because it's like they're usurping my authority or my presentation of the course, and it becomes more of the publisher's course than my course. Another important resource that publisher-created learning management systems and Moodle don't allow for is for teacher collaboration. And in the MyClassText platform, I have created a means by which teachers can collaborate, and I'll go into that a little further. Moodle is cumbersome. It is not free. If you want to take on Moodle and then have it housed on somebody else's server and have them look after it, it's really quite expensive. And every course that you create really has to be redone constantly every time there's a new version. And the virtual collaboration amongst colleagues is non-existent. I have designed MyClassText to be disruptively elegant and extremely simple in its design. I think this is because I have a learning disability. I have dyslexia, and I really need things to work easily where it's just a drag and drop, click and drag. And this is the basic philosophy behind MyClassText, the simplicity of design and ease of use. The important feature of MyClassText is that it is a vehicle by which you can present your own material. Now that can be material that you've created in terms of videos and notes, open educational resources, YouTube videos, other educational websites, slideshows, and so forth. The collaborative authoring tool in MyClassText allows teachers to share material across campus or even across the country. So if you are teaching the same course as another teacher, you can go to that teacher's resources and use a question or a video, and the same thing is true of any teacher being able to use your material. So there's a sharing of resources and ideas across this platform. I've been using MyMathText, which is the previous iteration of this platform, to teach statistics for over a year. And in that time, I have saved my students collectively over $150,000 in textbook costs. And finally, another important feature in the MyClassText platform is that I have included an instant SLO assessment tool. And this is done as you either compose new questions or share questions with colleagues, that you are able to identify an SLO that particular question could be used to assess, and an assessment tool is built into the MyClassText platform. So the benefits of this platform is that it reduces or eliminates the costly burden for students. You're able to integrate open educational resources that really can't be integrated in other learning platforms easily. You'll see by the way that the platform is designed, the students have just-in-time assistance as they do their homework questions, and this is done on a question-by-question basis. very easily at the level of the question template. The supplemental instruction, assessment, and intervention occurs as the student is doing the homework. And these are all accomplished by use of what are called learning aids that the instructor assigns to particular questions in the homework. There's a shared responsibility in the Student Success Initiative, and this is accomplished through the instructor's collaborative authoring tool in the MyClassText platform. And finally, the SLO assessment tool provides for easy and instant tabulation of individual course student learning outcomes. This is a problem I know at my college where we would like to be able to simplify the whole process of SLO assessment. In the beginning of April, over one weekend, I did a SurveyMonkey survey of MyClassText. And that survey resulted in some interesting and important results. First of all, in that time, there were 166 students who responded to the survey. If you look at the percentages of students who found this to be fairly easy and convenient to use, if you look at very easy and extremely easy, you're looking at a number over 80%. And if you consider moderately easy, over 90%. The responsiveness or speed of MyClassText was also equally responsive, either quite responsive or extremely responsive. I asked students to identify if they had ever used a learning management system before, and about 3/4 of them had, in fact, used some learning management or class management system. The most widely used is, of course, Moodle, but a lot of students also had used MyMathLab, presumably because this was in a math class. Almost 20% had used Blackboard, almost 10% Canvas, and other learning management systems, about 1/4 of them. So I asked them to compare the overall experience of MyClassText with the previous learning management system. And these numbers were quite gratifying. If you look at quite better to extremely better, we're approaching 80%, then moderately better, and up almost 90%. The question of dependability, and here you can see the similar percentages in terms of somewhat better, quite a bit better, a great deal better. Satisfaction, again, the numbers were very gratifying. The features in MyClassText that students liked the best were the learning aids and solution videos. And this is done on the question template, and we'll be looking at that in just a second. The learning aids are actually learning aids that you, as the instructor, assign to a question in a particular test. There's also a show work area, which was not as popular as the learning aids or solution videos. And the course calendar got a better than half like by the different students in the class. Interestingly, the free open education resource textbooks, almost 2/3 of the students like that feature enough to signify it. how important was not having to pay for a textbook? When you look at quite or extremely important, we're looking at over 90%. And if you consider moderately important, you're close to 100%, with only about 2% not finding it important at all. And this is something I think we all as instructors can identify with, students struggling to pay for textbooks. And then if they were in favor of seeing this platform expanded to the MyClassText iteration, which would be used to present other subjects other than mathematics. And you can see that the numbers here were close to 100%. Student testimonials. A couple of these I found really humorous, especially this first one. The second testimonial really speaks to the hardship that expensive textbooks puts on students. The functionality in the MyClassText platform is extremely easily controlled by both the student and by the instructor. In my course, I have a chapter lesson video and also different homework videos, and students really appreciate hearing you as the instructor talk on a video, not necessarily seeing you, but hearing you talk, explain questions, as opposed to a publisher, author explaining problems. I find it really interesting when, for example, I go into the math lab and I see many of my students at the computers all listening to a different video that I have made, and when I come up and tap them on the shoulder, they are startled and amazed that they're seeing me in person. That kind of reaction wouldn't occur if I was just simply using a publisher-created author's video. Some of them are very good, some of them not very good at all, and many times I'll disagree with the video. In MyClassText, you'll have the ability to make your own videos or to import YouTube videos that you think are really excellent. And the feeling that they really wish that this could be used in more classes was an opinion that many of my students shared with me. So this is the MyClassText login page. You can see that there is a place for the student as well as the professor to log in. And once they log in, they're brought to this course. What we see here are the announcements. And on the announcements page, you can have the typical kind of announcement that you see here. You're also able to import YouTube videos to have, and here is Hans Rosling's excellent talk on the importance of visualizing data. And you can put videos and other types of resources on the announcements page, which is really a nice feature. When the student goes to all my assignments, presently this is how we have the all my assignments with the show all, the homework, the test and quiz. These are standard categories. And then there are custom categories that you can create, and these can be as many custom categories as you like. So you might have project 1, project 2, project 3, attendance, what have you, classwork. And these categories are then able to be included in the weighted average that the MyClassText platform computes for the student. And then you can import, or rather export, that as a spreadsheet. This is where the importance of this platform really comes in. It's the question template. You can see that I have a number of questions here on the normal distribution. These questions are questions that I created, and when I create a question, I also create some clones of that question. It's quite easy to create questions in this platform. When you create clones of a question, it gives you the student the ability to try a similar question if they get the problem incorrect. But the real benefit of this template is the ability to include as many learning aids as you like. And for example, here I have the solution video for a problem very similar to this problem, a lesson video, more longer video about the entire concept of the normal distribution, an OER textbook link, and this is not the entire textbook, but the pages that refer primarily to this problem. And then I have a couple of YouTube videos about rounding decimals and decimal place value, because even though students have had math courses before, many times they don't know what the 10,000th place is, and this YouTube video would allow them to do that. You're not limited to 5, you can have 10, and when you go beyond the amount that can be shown in this window, a scroll bar appears here, and they can scroll to other learning aids further down the list. The student is able to print out the problem if they want to include it in their notebook. And there is a show work feature that allows the student to show their work for a particular problem. When they do show their, this is an example of a video that I have created. So in clicking on the Learning Aid Solution video, this video, as you can see, has been playing. There's a scroll bar so they can play it over and over again, or they can back it up and play it a section again. This is a YouTube video, and you can see that this opens in a window that can be expanded. If there is a particular file that you have as a learning aid, for example, you might have an Excel file, then clicking on that Excel file will open in the appropriate application for that file. This happens to be a Fathom file, a program called Fathom, which is used in some statistics classes, and clicking on the file opens that file in the appropriate program. When the student wants to show work, they click on the show work area, and they can write if they have a tablet. They can use a variety of colors and line widths. They can type or use their keyboard to enter in the answer as they would like. And they can also add an image, and these two images are images that were taken from a virtual graphing calculator by Texas Instruments, and the screen capture tool, which is in many programs, and you can download one for free, can be used to create these bitmap images, and then those images simply added into and resized. All of these can be resized and made different colors and so forth. And a feature that we are also including in the MyClassText is that this answer, when they save it, is also saved to a digital notebook. The instructor can view the student's work, and when they do, look for the student's work, they can click on the See Work button. So when a student shows work, this button is no longer grayed out and becomes a See Work button. Clicking on it allows you to open up the student's work. You can see that for the instructor's input into the work, there's only a red color available. And you can make a comment on the student's work, then save it, and you can import an image, you can use a text tool, you can use a tablet. And I have had the experience of entering into a dialogue asynchronously with students about a particular homework question, and students find this really very helpful in understanding problems when they have questions. The course calendar is unique because you can look at either the month, day, or week, and clicking on one of these homeworks or quizzes or extra credit tests, midterms, and what have you, will bring you right to that particular assignment. The instructor's dashboard includes things like being able to make announcements, send emails to the entire class or to specific students. You can manage the left-hand navigation bar. You can create your own content areas. There's also an ability to look at the roster. You can, of course, go to the gradebook, manage assignments, go to the course settings to extend the registration period. Here's where you would manage the learning aids for the different problems. You can also make some changes to the banner on the home page. And you can manage the gradebook categories, adding your own custom categories easily when you click this link. The class roster is quite interesting in that you have the ability to input student images. These images are only accessible, they can only be accessed by the instructor. Students do not see these. This is unlike Moodle. In Moodle, if a student uploads a picture, everybody gets to see it. Here, only that student and the instructor gets to see his or her picture. I actually got these pictures from our Admissions and Records office, working with the Dean of Admissions and Records with the approval of my president, my college president. I was able to import these into the MyClassText platform, and then as soon as a student enters his or her student number, the student's picture is brought up for inclusion in the roster. This is very helpful from a security standpoint for in-class, hybrid, or online courses. For in-class courses, there's also a photo roster, which is completely unique. I don't think this exists anywhere else in cyberspace. And what I've created here is a printout. You can print this out of the students' pictures and their names, which are alphabetically by last name, but the first name is boldened and larger. And it's really nice to be able to have this on your desk and then be able to look around the room and identify students by their first name easily. And if you do this on like the first day of class, students are just absolutely amazed that you know their name immediately. If you have this on your computer and open, if you click on, for example, Binira's photo, it becomes larger, which is nice. But then an added feature that is really very helpful, especially in in-class environment, is clicking on this blue link then opens the grade book for that student. And this gives you the ability to, sometimes when I get a lot of questions from a particular student, I wonder, is this because she's really a hardworking student, or has she done very little work? And if you get a lot of questions and you see the overall score is like, 20 with very few assignments done, then you have a really good indication as to why you're getting as many questions as you're getting. It gives you some added insight into the people in your class at the click of a button. Again, very straightforward and also very helpful. This is what the typical instructor's grade book looks like. You can look at all students or look at students in particular categories. This is helpful for very large lecture classes especially. You can also view all the assignments, the homework, the tests, the quizzes, or the categories that you create in the custom category tool. This is what the instructor's view of the student's gradebook looks like. And for any particular assignment, you're able to send an email, change the score, review the assignment. You can change the settings, in other words, when the assignment is due, or if it's a test and the student tried to take the test and lost her internet connection and was really would like to have another try at it, you can delete the assignment and then the assignment can be attempted again. The gradebook categories that come standard are homework, test, and quiz, and then you're able to create other custom categories. You're able to change the weights of the categories, and you see here we have the homework, test, and quiz, and the attendance, and these total 100%. If you were to put in 20%, this would become 110%, and it would be in red to alert you to the fact that you're totally more than 100% of your grade. Or if you put in 5%, this would become red, and it would say 95%. So that this is just kind of a check on doing your arithmetic, and I've found myself making mistakes with this, and I teach math. When you're in a particular category, you can change the weights of the particular items in that category. For example, here we are in the test category, and by assigning equal point values, we look at equal percentages of the test category to which all of these items give points. So 33 1/3% from the midterms and the final each. You could also create an extra credit test, which I did, and have no units, no points associated with it, but then this could be given a point value and have it factored in for extra credit. Adding an offline item is very straightforward. You simply choose the category to which the offline item is going to be included. So, for example, I might have an extra credit project. I would choose extra credit as the category, if that is a category that I have made. Give the item a name, assign a point value, and if you want, you can assign chapters to which that item would refer. The spreadsheet that you export, this is one of a few types. You can export a spreadsheet for the overview by each one of the students, where you're given the overall score and the weighted average that has been computed by the program. And that's what these overall scores are, the actual weighted average. So that work is done for you. And you can also ask for a spreadsheet of only the homework, only the tests, only the quiz, only the attendance, and so forth. So that if you wanted to look at all of the homeworks and all of the tests and all of the quizzes on separate spreadsheets, that's simply done. You can manage each one of the assignments individually, so you can assign or unassign a homework and edit a homework. You can set prerequisites. You can have settings for class or for an individual student. So the class might have this all due today, but for an individual student, because they were out sick, they could turn it in on Monday. You can preview, list the questions, or if you no longer wish to use that assignment, you can simply delete it. You can also manage many assignments at one time, and this is especially useful for being able to duplicate a course and then change the assignment due dates with the click of a button, where maybe everything from the orientation chapter to chapter 1 will be due by a certain time. You can set the due date, apply to selected, and save. Creating a new question allows you to start with an empty template. You can copy and edit a question from a sample question bank or from one of your own online courses, or you can copy and edit a question from another teacher's online course. Here we have, for example, a teacher who has created certain questions, and I simply can select that, and I can look at it first and then decide to copy that question, edit it for my own use. And any teacher can do the same with my questions. So that this is a first step in collaboration on the platform. In further iterations of this platform, I intend for this collaborative authoring tool to be much more expensive and include things like some of your learning resources if you so wish. The answers types presently on the platform are multiple choice and short answer options. However, this entire template is being reworked so that it will lend itself to sentences and to even paragraphs and so forth. So that right now you can create an exact answer, create answer sets, in other words, all the counting numbers from 1 to 5 with a comma in between. You can set two ends of a range of numbers, so that especially in statistics where the numbers answers can be off by just a few hundred thousandths of a decimal place, both answers would be acceptable because they fall within a range. Of course, multiple choice are quite simple to do, and you can have as many choices as you like. The Learning Aids Manager is what you see here, and here I've chosen an assignment. Here are the questions on the assignment, and these are the learning aids that I have created for each of these. These, by the way, are easily copied to other questions that are clones of that question. So if you look carefully here, you have normal distribution, central limit theorem application problem, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and all of these were clones of one question. These are the same question with different numbers. And the learning aids associated with that first question can be easily copied with the click of a button into the clone questions. When you go to the learning aids for a question, you can see that the actual learning aids can be videos that you create, links to the internet. And this particular video was a link on the internet. OER textbook links, which can be PDF files or Word files, YouTube videos. So you can have a variety of different kinds of learning aids, videos, web links, text files, YouTube videos, and it's quite easily done. It's a drop-down menu, click, and then dragging in the share information from the YouTube video paste it right into the program. This is how you can select or copy learning aids from one parent question to the clone questions. So the vision that I have for MyClassText is eventually, within the next, say, 5 years, a campus-wide adoption of MyClassText, leading to a campus-wide use of things like OER textbooks, thus eliminating the cost of textbooks completely. The instant SLO assessment tool, making it much easier for instructors to give SLO assessment information. Through the professional collaboration tool, sharing the responsibility for education, and allowing students to go to college and no longer have to pay $1,500 a year for textbooks. And finally, MyClassText goes mobile so that the MyClassText platform can be used on any tablet, iPad, Android tablet, cell phone, smartphone. So where we go from here is that I've created MyClassText to present any community college course material, basic skills, STEM, and other less obvious courses. What I've done is to recruit a number of instructors at Evergreen Valley College and our sister college, San Jose City College. I have approximately 24 excuse me. I have approximately 24 instructors who are each going to prepare one MyClassText course. These are in a variety of subjects, including mathematics, English, psychology, sociology, even physical education, and nutrition, kinesiology. Each individual college will be creating approximately a dozen courses for fall of 2015. So we have about a year and more to put this together. And I've already identified the faculty, and they're raring to go. Each college will save in 2 semesters the students in those classes close to $150,000 in textbook costs over that 1 year. We have something at our college called the Student Success Initiative, and I think you probably have it at your college as well. This MyClassText meets the San Jose Evergreen Community College District's board strategic initiative for student success. The accelerator fast-track development in education is facilitated by students being able to progress quickly through courses. We are ensuring student course success by having students work until competency. We're seeing learning beyond the classroom by use of things like the instructor-created videos and video lessons and solution videos. They are a form of supplemental instruction, as well as the YouTube videos. And the collaboration, using the idea of a shared responsibility, is done through the collaborative authoring tool. I would like to thank you for your kind attention, and if you do have any questions or would like to get any further information about the MyClassText platform, I invite you to send me an email at robert.knight@evc.edu. Thank you very much.